What would you do if the person who controlled your career was also the father of the love of your life? For me, that question wasn't hypothetical. It was my life, and it was about to explode in ways I never imagined. My name is Ethan Caldwell, and I'd spent 5 years grinding at Pinnacle Solutions, a sleek marketing firm where ambition was oxygen and results were currency. I was goddamn good. My campaigns pulled in clients like moths to a flame, and my team respected me for it. But the man signing my paychecks was also the man I called Dad at family dinners, Richard Hensley, my wife Laura's father. It was a tightrope I walked daily, balancing professionalism at work and warmth at home. I thought I'd mastered it. I was wrong. Richard was a titan in the industry, a silver-haired mogul with a handshake that closed deals and a glare that ended arguments. He liked me, or so I thought. Laura and I had been married for 3 years, and I'd earned his respect, or at least his tolerance, as his son-in-law. But at work, he was relentless. "Prove yourself, Ethan," he'd say, his voice like gravel. "Family doesn't get you a free pass." I didn't want one. I wanted to climb on my own merit, and I did. Until the promotion. The senior strategist position opened, a role I'd been gunning for since I started. It was my chance to lead bigger campaigns, to make my mark. I'd put in the hours, the late nights, the weekends Laura spent alone while I chased deadlines. My portfolio was ironclad, my results undeniable. Everyone in the office assumed it was mine, everyone except Richard. When the announcement came, it wasn't my name called. It was Greg's. Greg, the guy who showed up late, left early, and coasted on charm. His campaigns were mediocre, his work ethic non-existent. But he was Richard's golf buddy, his yes man, always laughing at the boss's jokes. I sat in the meeting, my stomach twisting, as Richard praised Greg's potential. Potential? I'd been bleeding for this company while Greg was napping through meetings. My colleagues shot me sympathetic looks, but I could barely see them through the haze of betrayal. That night, Laura found me staring at the ceiling, my jaw tight. "Dad's just testing you," she said, her voice soft but uncertain. "He believes in you." I wanted to believe her. I loved her fiercely, and I knew she was caught in the middle. But the sting of being passed over for a slacker, by the man who knew my worth better than anyone, cut deep. I wasn't just angry, I was humiliated. Days turned into weeks, and the office became a pressure cooker. Greg strutted around, cluelessly tossing out bad ideas while I cleaned up his messes. Richard watched, silent, as if daring me to crack. I didn't. I worked harder, stayed later, poured everything into proving him wrong. But the more I gave, the more I realized something. Richard didn't see me as a leader. He saw me as his daughter's husband, a subordinate forever tethered to his shadow. That realization lit a fire in me of ambition, but of rebellion. I started planning. Quietly, methodically, I built my exit. I reached out to old clients, pitched ideas on the side, and networked with competitors. I wasn't just going to quit. I was going to leave a crater. The annual board meeting was coming, where Pinnacle pitched its biggest campaign of the year to a major client. I was tasked with leading it, as always. Greg, of course, would take the credit. Not this time. The night before the meeting, I finalized my move. I'd secured funding from a rival firm to start my own agency. My clients, loyal to me, not Pinnacle, were ready to jump ship. I drafted my resignation letter, sharp and unapologetic, and prepared my presentation not for Pinnacle's client, but for my own future. The boardroom was packed the next day, Richard, Greg, the client, and the entire leadership team. I stood, my heart pounding but steady, and delivered the campaign pitch. It was flawless, as expected. The client was eating out of my hand. Then came the twist. "This campaign," I said, pausing for effect, "is my last work for Pinnacle." Gasps rippled through the room. Richard's face froze. "I'm resigning, effective immediately, to launch my own agency. And I'm taking my clients with me." I slid my resignation letter across the table, locked eyes with Richard, and walked out. The client followed me to the elevator, already asking about my new venture. By the end of the week, 3 of Pinnacle's top accounts had signed with me. Laura was stunned but proud. "You're crazy," she said, laughing through tears as we toasted my new beginning. Richard called me that night, his voice tight. "You've got guts, Ethan. I underestimated you." It wasn't an apology, but it was close enough. I didn't need his approval anymore. Quitting wasn't just about leaving a job. It was about reclaiming my worth. proving I was more than someone's son-in-law or second choice. I'd spent years building someone else's empire, only to realize I could build my own. And I did, with one epic move that changed everything.